Last weekend, my buddy Tom and I decided to take a road trip to the country for some much-needed relaxation. Tom, in his infinite wisdom, insisted on using his lucky GPS, a device he swore by because, according to him, it had never led him astray. I should have been suspicious when he said it guided him to the best pizza joint in town, which turned out to be a sushi bar. But against my better judgment, I agreed to let his GPS take the wheel. We set off with high spirits, the GPS giving directions in its slightly outdated robotic voice. The first sign of trouble came when it directed us to take an unexpected left turn. We ended up in a line of cars waiting for what I assumed was a toll booth. However, to my surprise, we were actually in a drive-through car wash. As the suds cascaded over the car and Tom fiddled with the controls, trying to force a U-turn, I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. Tom claimed the GPS was just cleaning up our act before the big adventure. Once we extricated ourselves from the car wash, the GPS led us down a series of increasingly narrow roads until we found ourselves in the middle of a cow pasture. I'm not sure if you've ever tried to explain to a herd of cows why you're driving through their living room, but they didn't seem impressed. Tom, ever the optimist, suggested that maybe the GPS was just showing us a moving landscape as part of the scenic route. At this point, I was convinced that Tom's GPS was less about luck and more about leading us to the most random places possible. Finally, after what felt like hours of zigzagging through rural America, the GPS proudly announced, "You have reached your destination." We were smack in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by cows and the faint sound of mooing. Tom looked at the screen, then at me, and shrugged. "I guess," he said with a grin, "the GPS has a lot of pasture in its prime directive." And with that, we turned around, laughing all the way back to civilization, vowing never to trust Tom's lucky GPS again.